I did want to, it's awesome that you're actually on this call, Allison, because I actually wanted to talk a little bit about, number one, I'm going to try to figure out, since Jonah posted about the marketing plan, I was like, you know what? I need to figure out a marketing plan for a brand new coach that we can just like hand to them and say like, okay, here's your marketing plan for the month. Because for like the first month or whatever of being a coach, because I think I still don't really, I'll tell you this, like, I'll be totally honest. I still don't have like a process of like how I get a brand new coach started. I do it mostly one-on-one calls with like Jonah. Like it was just like, okay, whenever she had a question, we would go over what it was that she was running into that were her issues. But I feel like if we had like a system to plug somebody into, it's going to make the business a lot easier for them. So I'm going to ask on the roundtable today and see if there's a coach, because the roundtable is like the 5-star diamond coaches and above. I'm going to see if there's already a marketing plan that somebody has that they're willing to share with me, because if they do, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. Like if something's working, then I'll just get it from them and we'll share it in the group. Otherwise, there's this coach who was on a national wake up call, like, I don't know, 4 weeks or maybe a month ago or so. And she was a young girl and she went from like, coach to elite in 1 year. And she was like at Summit with like 7 of her closest friends. She was super cute and just like 22 years old or something. And I like scrolled on her Instagram page and I was like, oh, let me check out her Instagram and see what is she posting. I forget what her name is. I'll figure it out. And I saw that she started her page when she started coaching, and she like her Instagram page. And so she went from 0 to like, she had 70,000 followers in like a matter of like a year and a half. I was like, I don't know how she did that. I don't know if she did ads. Like, I can't tell you. But I did see like her beginning posts and they were very simple. And I'm like, somebody must have taught her what to say, because there's no way, I don't think, unless she's just amazing, like as a brand new coach, she would have just known exactly what to post. So I think that these seasoned coaches are like handing a marketing plan to their new coaches and saying, here you go. And I've created one before, but it wasn't really a marketing plan. It was just like a posting schedule. Like, here's ideas, and so it's been a while. So I'm going to actually reach out to that girl specifically and see if maybe she has a marketing plan that she'd be willing to share, because obviously whatever she did in the beginning to build her business works. So then if we can get that, we can have that in the team page and the Team Aloha page, and I'll just do it as a unit. And then when we put new coaches into our team, they can instantly go to the marketing plan, and like you guys can direct them there. So it will be available for anyone that joins our team and gets added to our group. So I'm gonna figure that out today. And then if Jonah wants to share a little bit about what she did for the marketing plan, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I can. Right now, I mean, to be honest with you, right now, am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're unmuted.
Okay. The plan, I just literally went on Pinterest and looked up like online marketing plan. And so I kind of just created my, the format in Excel so that then I could just type out my posts in it with the, each week it kind of had like a theme of like first saying what your lifestyle, what your products basically, are doing for you, like the benefits you're getting. Then the next week is, what are the people missing in their life that your products could fulfill? And then the next week is like inviting, like doing the inviting. And then the following week is like the onboarding stuff. So it kind of just gives you like those weekly themes. So then you can kind of like look up quotes that are like, if you have desire, like what, how to like get quotes for desire. And then, it just kind of allowed me to think of a theme for every day of the week. The 1 week had a theme, you know what I mean? And you could just kind of think of that theme for the whole week and like write out your posts, and then you just repeat it, so that way it kind of aligns with, if you want to try to onboard people doing the once a week invite or like call to action, it's just like 1 week is a whole week of call to action. That's kind of what aligned with what I was hearing at the Coach Summit. So I figured that must be an okay kind of marketing plan. So
do you think that would work well for a brand new coach?
Yeah, I do think so. Because it just will kind of, what I like about it is, even for me, in my posts, like in my stories, I still I'm showing my daily routine stuff, but it helped me kind of get my mind. So you aren't thinking like, oh my gosh, what am I going to type in my post every day? You can kind of like think, okay, I'm trying to just showcase how this is making my life better for 1 week, just you can kind of think that thing. And then the following week, you can think, wow, okay, so what are people missing? Or like, how was I before I had this in my life? Because that's what people are missing basically. And you can kind of like then start to make your posts so you're talking to the other people. And like, if you feel like you just can't figure out how to get enough time in your day to do a workout, you just feel like you can't get to the gym enough, you can kind of just target those kind of messages for the whole week. And then the next week is like inviting, where you're just saying, where you can talk about the tribe and like the support group and the lifestyle that you can invite somebody to. And then finally, hopefully you have people that are interested, and you can start working with like, like the onboarding thing and saying, we're getting ready and we're going to start and whatever. So I think it would help, just because it kind of just focuses your mind again for the, a week at a time.
All right. So maybe what we can do is, if you could make a copy of that and remove and leave it blank, take out your like posts so that they have the themes, and then I'll see if there's anything else in the round table, so that they have things that they can do.
Yeah.
And I'll do some research today. And then the other thing that I was planning to do for new coaches is like, then I'll make some videos explaining how to use the BAT, because like if they have that marketing plan, then it's like, okay, what else are they doing? This is what I do. I mean, I'm not doing anything special. I'm doing the BAT, every day, and I miss stuff, but I'm just trying to, what I'm really trying to do right now is connect with people on Instagram, like send them a private message and get to know them. And then eventually, like, there was a really good call from David Atkins about like after 2 weeks of like chatting with them, you send them an invite. And a lot of times I send them the invite and they're like, no, but you know what? Now they know that that's available to them, and I've asked them. And so they're going to continue to watch my posts, and when they're ready, or if or when they're ready to ever join with me, they will, and then when I keep in touch with them, it's not I don't reach out to them every month and say, hey, you ready yet? Hey, you ready yet? I just I watch their stories, and I send them a little like emoji from their story. Like I interact in an authentic way on their page. And what that does is it keeps us like interacting, and then they come to my page and then they watch my story. So it's like this conversation that's still ongoing that eventually will lead to potentially them joining as a challenger or a coach, or maybe referring somebody to me. And then I personally, once they express interest in hearing more information, I immediately go to text, because for one, I have Scipio, which I can use Scipio on a computer, so I can type out my responses in Scipio. But what I like about the texting is that then I can have their phone number and I can text them valuable and like little valuable tidbits. It's like your tips and tricks. And so then I just get them on that, where they get a text from me like every 10 to 17 or 16 days or something. So they like several times a month, and it's just simple things. And I've added more tips. I keep adding more tips like every 2 weeks. Like I've added like a link to some recipes for spaghetti squash that I thought were really awesome. I've added something about, how orange juice has like the same amount of sugar as like a candy bar or something. Like I keep, so every like 2 weeks they get a tip from me. And what that's done is, for example, Farah Saeed, she's like my brand new challenger. She just started, she's a doctor, and she signed up with Morning Meltdown and just BOD. She just did BOD and Morning Meltdown. She didn't want any of the supplements. And she was someone who I brought off of Instagram to texting, put her on my tips and tricks. And then like when Morning Meltdown was launching, I sent a text to everybody on my list, hey, this new program is launching. We're going to all be starting it together. Who wants to join? And she was like, yeah, I'm ready to do this. Like, let's do it. And I've literally been in touch with her probably since January, and she's not signed up. So we're talking like 7 months of me like connecting with her here and there, sending her tips and tricks. It took her 7 months for her to be ready to sign up. It wasn't anything about me. It's nothing that I did wrong. It's just, she's a doctor, and she literally just finished her job, like I think her residency at one place, and she has a break before she starts her real job, like her job for 2 months, and she's moving, and she's like, this is a great time for me to get my habits, and then I have like a couple teachers who are now doing it during the summer. So don't ever think that it's not you personally, it's just timing. And the more you just add value to them, like in an authentic way, just like without any expectations of what you're going to get back, they're going to like you, and they're going to, they're going to be like, wow, this person really has a lot to offer me. Like when I do sign up, I'm going to sign up with them because I obviously already saw that they have a lot to offer me. So those are things that I'm doing with how I transition people over from, prospect to signing up. And I have a list of lots of people that still have not enrolled with anything, but I'm still in touch with them and sending those tips here and there. So that's what's working really well for me.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I actually just got my first person who I'd never met before, who is literally from Instagram. She's kind of still local, like, cause I found her through kind of like local hashtags and stuff. And, same for her. She, like, we kind of connected. I did like, I kind of like 5-3 Wonder. And, then she started watching my stories. I was seeing she was watching my stories every day. And, I just said, hey, thanks for watching my stories or whatever. And then, we had a little comments, and then she would just recently, I saw she's watching my stories, and we had messaged before how she's like, I need to get back on track. And, I haven't been doing anything for a while now. And we were just casual. I didn't ask her anything about it. I just said, oh yeah, like, you just got to start and whatever. And, she's watching me the other day. I'm like, hey, how are you doing? Did you get back started up again? And she's like, nope, I'm just sitting here stalking your stories. And, like, I really need to do something. And, so then that's when I invited her, but we had just like I just said, hey, trying to give her encouragement. I didn't even ask her what kind of workout she was doing. She said she was just having a hard time getting back to a routine. And I just, tried to encourage her to get back to whatever routine she was doing before without telling her what I was doing. And, she just still kept watching my stuff and like watching my workouts that I recorded every day. And she was just like, finally, she's just like admitted, she's like, I'm just stalking your stuff. I still haven't done anything yet. And that's when I finally invited her. And that's when she just joined that Caitlin. So it takes people a long time. It took me a long time to even become a coach. It's taken me 6 months to make a marketing plan, and it takes people a long time. So you just can't give up on them. You just have to keep being there, showing up, and like supporting them in little ways until they're ready. They will be ready eventually. I do believe that now, because I'm seeing it. It just depends on when,
Exactly. I thank you for sharing all of that. That's great. I love that. I think that a lot of times someone will say, like, say you did invite them and they're like, no, I have a gym membership, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And then you're like, okay, cool, no problem. As long as whatever you're doing is working, you still like support them. You still like their posts. You still watch their stories, sometimes engage on their page. Then go back to them a month, 2 months, 3 months later and say, hi, hey, how's the gym going? Like, are you doing it? And they're like, no, I haven't done anything. Like, I've gone twice. Okay. So, and then it's like they realize that you're still there and you're still talking to them. And then that happens a lot. Like, they're like, they might still not be ready at that 2 to 3 months, but maybe it's going to take them another 9 months for them to say yes. But obviously it's you're think of social media as you're building that relationship with that person. Like, your posts are what's building that relationship with the person, and your stories are, you're talking to that person and you're, adding value to their life, and not always adding value, asking for something back. So like, I try not to do like a ton of like inviting. Like, now I'm trying to be more like add value. And then I love the fact that like 1 week of inviting and then you go back to adding value. So I did want to, I'm going to change gears. Does anyone have questions about that or comments before we change gears? Because
well, I'm just curious because Allison, you are new, and I had her go over to the Beachbody Champions page and follow their training because I think it's really good.
Okay.
So, Allison, I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on that, because I'm the same way, where it's like I have a training that I built with Kathleen and it's great, but then I did connect with the training in the Beachbody Champions page. So I'm like, I never know where I should send people and which one's better. So I'm curious, Allison, what's been your experience with that?
I have a few more to do still, but I have found them really helpful, actually, because I feel like yeah, I had no idea. I mean, Stephanie, like, I did nothing. I didn't even know where to begin, really, in terms of like everything you guys are talking about, just getting started. And so it's just watching the tips that they're giving, to giving me some ideas on just like things that should be posting, or ways that you should be posting or not posting. And so I have found them really helpful. I've been taking a lot of notes, and I still feel though, like, again, I don't know if this is just a normal thing for new coaches. I kind of just feel like still a little all over the place. And struggling with, I think, like doing Instagram stories, I'm doing okay with, but I feel like my post on Instagram, I feel like I have to send this like message, and I have these ideas in my head, but I don't know how to get them like out. So I start and then I struggle. So I don't know. I have to figure it out.
Just to hit on that real quickly, I mean, posting on social media to me is just relax and have fun with it. Let your personality shine through, and it's conversational writing. So how would you talk? How would you talk to a friend about whatever it is that you want to post, and you're talking to that friend? I mean, I did a post on my best one to like date is John looking like seductive with like 50 yogurts in front of him. It has like almost 500 likes. I was just joking around. I'm just being who I am. I'm like, love is, or what's it called? Romance is not dead in our house. It's alive, people. It is very alive. Like, this man knows me so well. He didn't even have to like ask. He just bought out all the flavors. I'm talking how I would talk to anyone, just joking around. And, it's just conversational writing. And at first it'll be weird and, you'll question it, but the more you do it, the more it will become natural to do these types of posts. So I didn't just start out the gate being like, oh girl, it's simple. I just get out there and talk how I talk. But with practice, as with anything that we do, it will become more natural and a little bit easier and less like so thought provoking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and definitely just don't overthink it. Don't overthink it.
That's what I mean.
I overthought it
laying in bed.
Like, show up with consistency and don't overthink it. One of the things I took away so much from the coach coach summit, and I was 6 months in to my coaching when I went into the coach summit, was just take the action, like take the messy action, do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't think that everybody's going to be scrutinizing everything you do like you do, because they're only going to look at it for the 15-second time slots that's there. And maybe if they like something, they'll go back and look at it again, but it doesn't matter. I'm like making typos, and it is annoying, but I'm like, yeah, whatever, they get the point. And I just move on to the next thing.
I know myself as a new coach, I was overwhelmed with like the posts. Honestly, if you just do it from the heart and like use your own experiences, it makes it so much easier. Like, I know for myself at the very beginning, I was like overwhelmed, and I kept on saying you, and you want to say like, I mean, I, you want to say you, like you want to reference them where it can connect, and that helped tremendously. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I have these, like, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to say this. But in my head, it sounds good, but then I can't just get it out. So, but that's helpful.
One thing you can do is like have a notepad next to your bed, or another thing that I do on an iPhone is there's a voice memo. You can do voice memos. So if I have like a really great idea for a post, I'll voice memo it to myself. Like, you can record yourself. I actually have several ones. When I was walking one day, I was like, dude, this is a great post, blah, 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 blah. And I say it really quick. And then I have it in there for especially a day if I'm working anesthesia and I didn't write a post for that day. I'm like, okay, what do I have? And then I keep also in my notes on my phone, when I come across quotes that I like, for example, I have the passion planner, and every day every week there's like a quote. So I've written down a bunch of quotes that I like in a notes for like with the title Facebook post. So I just come in here, if I'm like feeling like I do not feel motivating or inspiring today, I'm like, okay, let's see, what quote did I write? And then I'm like, I can just literally copy and paste that quote, and just, that's it. That's my post for the day, and a picture of me. Like, it doesn't have to be super like thought. It doesn't have to be like hours of thinking. Sometimes it's just as simple as doing a funny meme, or like asking somebody to comment, or like whatever. I mean, I do like funny memes like every 6th or 9th post or something. So don't overthink it. Like Jonah said, I was going to say the same thing. Don't overthink it, because you're going to get all this information about how to post. But if your post looks like it just totally was all thought out, which I think sometimes mine do, people aren't going to connect with that anyway, because they're going to be like, wow, she just spent so much time like making this post sound perfect.
Like anything can be a post. Like I'm a person that like, I don't schedule anything. Like, I mean, I could be watering the lawn and make a post out of that. I mean, it's just whatever you're doing and just sharing your life authentically and bringing other people into it. So agree with everybody. It's so many people put pressure on it because this is new. It's my job. I need to attract people, but you'll attract people just being you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it doesn't come naturally at first, like Stephanie said, but it will eventually. Once you kind of get, like, she wasn't like, she's amazing at her posts, but I remember in the beginning, she was like more all over the place, didn't know what to post. And then she kind of just found her brand and her niche. And now like, she'll tell me like, you should post this, you should post that, you should post this. Like she could actually probably cruise your page really quick and say like, I know, or if you tell her about your day, like journal one day in the life of you could send it to her and she'd be like, here's what you post about. Here's everything you need to post about. Cause she's really good at that. So don't overthink it, just do it and figure out your brand. Like the branding is like 3 to 5 things that are you. And obviously it's not all going to be health and fitness. Like that can be one category. Like mine is like animals and nature. I do like DIY, home improvement and green living tips. Obviously health and fitness and, self-care, all that stuff. And then like spirituality and personal development, I put those together. And then animals. Those are like my whole, like, I stick with like the same brand. Like you'll see like my animals once a week or so. And my big sister volunteering. And then of course coaching is included in all that as part of my lifestyle and being a CRNA. So those are like a million things, but I just stick with like the same things. I don't try to veer off and be like, okay, I'm going to post about like, I don't know. I used to see people's posts. I'm like, oh, that posted really good. And I'd like not copy it, but I'd write my own that was similar to theirs. And it would just bomb because that wasn't my brand. So, when you think of a brand, you're the brand, you want them to see consistency on your page so that they know what they're going to get from you. And it's going to be consistently the same message over time. So don't like look at other people's posts and say, oh, that did really well, I'm going to post about that. No, find your like 5 things that make you. If it's sewing, like if you're a super awesome sewer, like knitter, like you have these different ways of doing knitting and sewing, you post about that. Because what's going to happen is people are going to that are also knitter queens and sewing queens are going to come to your page and they're going to be like, wow, she added so much value about how to do this cross stitch, whatever. I'm going to start following her. And then they're going to start following you for that. And then they're going to see your health and fitness posts and they're going to be like, well, she already added so much value in this area that's like sewing. I'm going to, now join her in this area. I'm going to join her challenge group because I know that whatever she shares is valuable. Does that make sense? It's like they're going to connect with you. Like a lot of people connect with me about like animals, like my dog, my bird, my cats, whatever. And we start talking about cats and then it eventually leads into something that is more about health and fitness. So they're going to connect with other parts of you. Like not everybody, actually the majority of people are not into like wellness and health and fitness. So if you're always posting about fitness and wellness, I remember reading some statistic that only like 20% of the population like consistently like works out or, does like healthy nutrition, whatever. So if you're only posting about that and you're trying to attract through that, you're only going to be exposed to 20% of people. But if you're attracting through that other like niche market or niche or whatever it is, then you're going to attract people from a different thing. And then they're going to be following you and they're eventually going to join your challenge group because of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
There's a really good branding. I can post it in the team page too. There's a really good branding activity you can do that I found really helpful for when I was doing my branding, where you come up with your avatar and then you speak to them. I'm not going to go into detail about that now because I wanted to do a real quick, you asked me last week about like how to do building for like volume training. So I just did a quick, like I was in the round table and I saw some posts this week and I was like, all right, I need to just go over this really quick because I'm not the best at like telling you how to do this, but I thought this graphic was really helpful. Obviously the real way, I mean, of course, bringing in somebody into our world as a customer, buying an Energize, for example, is a way for them to eventually become a team member, maybe as a coach or with other things. So I'm not saying that building your coaching team, like attracting people straight out of the gate as coaches, is the best way to do it. I personally think the best coaches come from people who fall in love with the products. Even if they came in for coaching and, you know, they had never tried a product before, they do need to fall in love with the products in order to succeed, is my thought. If they don't, it's like you're trying to sell something that you don't really believe in. It's just never going to work. That's my opinion. I found that the best coaches, they fall in love with the challenge group or Shakeology or Beachbody On Demand. They fall in love with everything, or the community, or whatever it is that you're offering, that you talk about, and they stick around because of the community. So it's bringing them into your world with something. But ultimately, the real way to build a solid, successful business that's going to last you for years and years and years is to build a coaching team. And that means that you could bring them in for retail, being that they start as a customer and then they eventually become a coach. But ultimately, the real way to build like a stable, long-term residual income is through having a team. So having coaches and then having them bring on coaches and all that. So here is something real quick, because I know you said, like, I want to understand volume more. This is a breakdown of, if you're a diamond coach and you're cycling at $18, here's what you would need to have on your legs, on each leg, to earn these amounts every week. So you could have, for me, I don't have, so let's go back. If you have a coach that is sponsored you, so if your sponsoring coach is building a team, then your strong leg is going to be whatever leg of their business you're on. So for example, I think like Stephanie's on my right leg, although I don't ever put coaches under her because there's too much volume from her team and her that she doesn't get any coaches from me. Sorry. So I'm building my left leg right now because my right leg is like, I'm super unbalanced. But at one point they were like even, because I don't have a coach that's building above me, so I didn't have a strong leg. So if you're on my left leg, like Jonah would be on my left leg, I think, I hope. And then I'm building, like, I'm going to add coaches underneath her. So say I sign up Jonah as a coach, and then I sign up, like, let's just make up Mary, and Mary signs up a bunch of coaches. Well, all those coaches are also going to be underneath Jonah as well. So they're all going to contribute to her volume. So as I'm building the coaches underneath you and they're building their coaches underneath you, any of their customers or any of their coaches are going to ultimately, the volume is going to trickle up to you. So this doesn't mean that this volume all comes from your personally sponsored coaches. It comes from anyone that has been sponsored in your downline. Okay, so how it would work is, if you want to earn $150 a week as a diamond coach, it was going to be different if you're emerald, because emerald team cycles are $14 a week instead of $18 a week, but you can still do the math and figure it out. So in order to earn $150 a week in team cycle bonuses, this is not counting any customers, any of your customers that are buying retail from you. This is counting only coaches in your downline, which can include your personally sponsored coaches and any coaches that have been sponsored by your upline or anyone that is underneath you, okay? So you would need 900 in your week leg volume and 1,800, that's team volume, TV, to earn 150 a week. So if you want to do 250 a week, it goes up to those two. If you want to do 500 a week, it's up to that. And then 1,000 a week is, you know, you have to have almost 20,000 team volume in your downline for you to earn 1,000 a week. If you have even legs, meaning, for example, like someone that, like for me, I didn't have, my coach never did anything with the business. So I don't have a strong leg. I'm not like, I don't have like all this volume on one leg and then I'm trying to counter it on the other. So for me, I would be here, even legs. So then it's not having 900 and 1,800 and this and that. It's just the total volume. So you can use that as your marker for, if your legs are dead even, then you need 2,700 total to earn 150 a week, 4,200 volume total to earn 250 a week, 11,000 to earn 500, and 16,800 to earn 1,000 a week. So let me break that down a little bit more, because I saw this other post, which I thought was really, really good, into how many challenge packs you would need. So if you want to earn 500 a week as an emerald, you need to have 42 cycles per week. So that means like maybe you're having one right now where you're making 14 bucks, right? To have one cycle, you have to have 100 in one leg and 200 in the other, okay? So in order to earn 500 a week as an emerald coach, you need to do 42 cycles a week. What does that break down into? Either 13 $140 challenge packs, 10 $160 challenge packs, or 9 $180 challenge packs. That doesn't mean that you're selling those challenge packs. That means anyone in your downline that's selling those challenge packs. But then that gives you a good idea of, if you want to break that down into Success Club numbers, like how many Success Club points does your downline need to earn for you to hit that, right? So 13 challenge packs is roughly 26 Success Club points. So you need to have coaches that are, you know, earning Success Club, or it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have one coach or two that's earning Success Club. You could have 11 coaches that are earning 2 points, right? And that would be, no, that's 22. You have to have 13, right? You have to have 13 coaches that are, you know, that each sold one challenge pack, right? You have 13 coaches that each sold one challenge pack, and that will get you to that cycle as an emerald. Or maybe that's as a diamond. That must be as a diamond, because the cycles are less. But I can break this down even more. I just didn't make the time to do it. And I'm actually going to go, there's a volume training by Candace Talbot that's from the Roundtable, and I'm going to go do the volume training myself first before I try to teach it. And I'm going to make some time today to go through that. So here's to break down a little bit even more into Success Club numbers, because these were all posted this week, and I'm like, all right, well, they were asking me about volume. I need to like train them on this. So if you want to do 150 a week or $600 a month, and this is in cycle bonuses, not retail. So it doesn't count anything that you're selling. This counts what your volume you're bringing in. And then what you would need to do is you would need to bring on 1 new coach and 2 new challengers every month for 12 months. So that's hitting Success Club 6. That must be, never mind. That must be for, yeah, that's retail then. That's not seeing cycle bonuses. So if you want to earn 250 a week or 1,000 a month, you need to bring in 2 new coaches and 2 new challengers, and you'd have to have 1 coach, 1 PS coach in Success Club every month for 12 months. So you'd have to hit Success Club 8 and have 1 coach that's hitting Success Club every month with you for 12 months. That would equal 250 a week. If your goal is 500 a week, you'd have to have 3 new coaches, 3 new challengers, and 2 personally sponsored coaches in Success Club every month for 12 months. Which is, to me, that's a lot. Success Club 12. I mean, you can do it. It's not possible, but it's not impossible. And don't, you know, my numbers are totally different than like Stephanie's numbers, and your numbers can be totally different than whatever your numbers want to be. And of course, it doesn't have to equal Success Club. Success Club is just, you know, a tool to measure, but it can also be just volume if you want to focus on volume and not Success Club. And then your goal is 1,000 a week. You need to hit Success Club 16. You'd have to have 4 new coaches, 4 challengers, and 4 PS coaches in Success Club every 12 months. And then if you want 2,000 a week, then you'd have to be hitting Success Club 20 and bringing in 5 new coaches, 5 new challengers, and 5 PS coaches in Success Club every month for 12 months. And I assume this is counting that they stay with you. It's not counting attrition, which you're going to lose people. So, you know, it's just going to happen. It's natural. It's nothing that you did or said. It's just some people are going to quit their Shakeology, and some people are not going to like their whatever, you know, the pre-workout and the post-workout. Some people are not going to connect with the community, and it's not anything personal. All right, so what I was going to say is the first thing that you want to do is, if you want to start building for volume, then what you need to do is come up with your diamond plan. So this is a blank diamond plan. This is you at the top, and I can send this to you guys, or I can post it in the team page. You write your name, you write, you know, this is you, and then the names of the people that are going to help you get to diamond, which in order to become a diamond coach and start earning those $18 team cycle bonuses, you have to have 4 personally sponsored coaches on each leg, and you have to have 2 of those coaches, you need to support them in going emerald. And so I want you to get to understand, some people might think, oh my gosh, Emerald's so hard. It's so hard to get to Emerald. And I'm not minimizing the challenge that it can be for some people. I think it took me like 6 months or something, or maybe, no, I think I got to Emerald in like 2 months, but I think it took me like 7 months to get to Diamond or something. So I'm not saying that it wasn't easy for me, but there's people like Stephanie did, I don't know, Emerald in 48 hours, 24 hours, and was Diamond in like 7 weeks. Yeah, okay, so she went Emerald in 24 hours and Diamond in like 7 weeks. Mind you, she was a personal trainer, so she already had clients that had worked with her. She already had trust built, and that, you know, and clients that wanted to get results that weren't getting the results that they wanted in her personal training that she just brought over to Beachbody, and they got better results with her there. But I want you to believe that it's not that difficult, because it really isn't. An Emerald is two people. It could be your best friend, your mom, your grandma, your grandpa, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your dad, your niece, your nephew, your husband, your wife. I mean, it's just your best friend. I mean, you need two people. And most coaches, if you're building to have a long-term residual income, you want your spouse to be your very first coach. And you want to put them on your weak leg. Okay? You want to put them on your weak leg, because what's going to happen is you're going to have your strong leg is being built. So say this is a strong leg and it's already there because you've got someone who's building for you besides Stephanie, because I'm not putting any coaches on her, but you're getting coaches put there from your upline. So you're going to have volume coming in that leg all the time. It's going to be there. So if you put your husband or spouse on the opposite leg, then what you can do is you can put your customers through that account, and you can start to build volume on that leg. So you can start cycling, because it's going to equal out. So you can start cycling right away. So if you're going to build for long-term residual income, you want to put your spouse. And there's two different schools of thought. Some people say I think it's better if you're high retail to have your spouse on the weak leg, because then you can put all your customers through them. But I think if you're lower on retail, I've seen Lindsay Matway's video. I watched it like a long time ago. Then you could think about putting your spouse on your strong leg. But I don't think that's the best way to build. I think it's weak leg. That's how I've always taught, but it's obviously up to you. And I can try to find that Lindsay Matway video. So number one would be like a spouse. Okay, now you only need one other person. Who's your best friend? Like, who can you ask? Who do you think that would want to do this with you? And it's not, I'm going to teach you and I'm going to, like, I know what I'm doing. Come join my team and we're going to, no, it's, hey, I really want to do this. Let's do this together. Would you want to do this with me? You know, like, I didn't really have a lot of friends when I started Beachbody. I'm not really the most friendliest person. But so I didn't have like a best friend, and I just went to social media. Actually, I went to all my close friends. Like, I had a really good guy friend who was a personal trainer, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna make all this money. You gotta come join Beachbody, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no. I wrote a list of personal trainers that were all my friends. I was like, all right, I'm going to this person, that person. I went and just vomited all over them and told them like all these things, and everyone said no to me. I was like, okay, this doesn't work. So then I went to social media and I started posting on social media, and within 6 months, it took 6 freaking months for me to start attracting people. 6 months of me posting consistently, and then I started hitting Success Club. I didn't hit Success Club for 6 months as a brand new coach. That was the first time 6 months in that I hit Success Club. And back then we had to sponsor one coach every month to hit Success Club. So one of your like 5 points had to come from you enrolling a coach. And so my first coach, I know who it was, Steve. He was like a personal trainer or fitness guy. And I'm like, yeah, like, let's do this. Come on. I was like, yeah, I finally hit Success Club. He's not with the team anymore. He never built any business, but hey, you know, he was my first coach and my first month hitting Success Club, and like attrition happens. So you have to keep replacing those people. But for me, building from social media was really where I thrived after consistently posting for 6 months. My close like friend circle was not where I thrived, because for whatever reason, Beachbody was just not their thing. And even now, still like my close friends, I don't know if I'll ever see them being coaches. And my family, I went to my brother and my sister-in-law, and it was like, no. And they were like making fun of me, like, because they never thought I was going to make any money. And my brother, I remember saying like, oh, we might, because you know, his wife is like a really beautiful, in shape woman, and very into like, she's just really pretty and into like looks and, you know, like looking good. Like she wants to look good and she's beautiful. And I was like, you know, you could totally do this with me. And I think I like gave her a copy of Insanity and like bought her a month of Shakeology. And I'm like, cause I thought she'd be an awesome coach because she knows a lot of girls and she's really close with her girls, and all of her girls are into wanting to look good and feel good. And I remember talking to her about it, and Josh was like, my brother was like, we might do something as like a side business, but I don't think it's going to be like building Beachbody. And he like made fun of me and was laughing at me. And then when I finally started making money with Beachbody and I was making like $1,000 a week, I remember going to him and being like, okay, well now I'm, you know, cause he was like making fun of me, like, you're never going to make any money doing that. And I'm like, well, now I'm making $1,000 a week. And he's like, yeah, until you run out. Until it stops. I was like, dude, thanks for your support, appreciate it. And then when I like hit 6 figures, I didn't even go back to him because at that point it was like, you know, it doesn't even, he obviously is not ever going to support me in this endeavor. So, and since then my brother and we've grown apart a lot since then anyway, because he's got a family, he's got a wife, he's got 2 kids, they live in Reno, you know, I live here, but I didn't get any support from my family. And my mom, just so you know, like I bought her a bag of Shakeology. I'm gonna have this on YouTube, so I hope they don't watch it. I bought my mom a bag of Shakeology. She's a diabetic, overweight, you know, just has a really bad sweet tooth. And I was like, this can really help you because it's a low glycemic index too. Like it can help with your cravings, all that stuff. And I explained to her, you know, blend it with this, whatever. I didn't live in Michigan at the time, so I bought it for her, sent it to her, and she didn't listen to me, didn't blend it, put it in a coffee mug, and like mixed it with water with a spoon. And she was like at work trying to drink it, and she's like, I couldn't finish it. It tasted like sludge. I'm like, yeah, because you didn't do it how I told you. And then she's like, I don't want this. She returned it and I got my money back. Like that's how like little support I had with the business and how I ended up building it to a 6-figure income. But it came through all people I didn't know on social media. I mean, or like people I kind of knew, like from high school or whatever. So that's my story of doing like, so if I could fail that much in the beginning and still succeed, then I truly do believe that anyone can build this business. It's just a matter of you believing that you can and you know, like that's how you have to think about Emerald. It's easy. And that's how you have to think about Diamond. It's easy. Not because you're trying to minimize the amount of work that it takes, but because you have to believe that you can do it. And if you make it a mountain instead of a molehill, then you won't ever get there. But if you make it something that's totally achievable and attainable and believe in yourself because you can, then you will. Does anyone have questions real quick? Sorry, I got off on a tangent, but I like to go back to those stories because it's like I was terrible at this business and had zero support and I still succeeded. So I know truly anyone can. No questions, no comments. All right. Well, thank you guys for hopping on, and I am going to, I read all your quotes over here. I signed one client and my aunt, mother-in-law was third, and I'm still with me. And Jonahs said she started with her husband, her friend, and her mom. So yeah, that's where you start, more market, and then just work your way through it, and then social media.
One of my favorite quotes is, who gets you to like one spot will not get you to the next. And that's why we're always constantly adding. Like the people that were in my first year, like none of them are with me. Like it's always funny, like when like, I don't know, stuff comes up like in memories and I'm like, oh, those people like helped me to like this rank or helped me to do this, and they're gone. Whatever. It's honestly, it's never affected my personal income because you keep doing, you keep plugging, you keep putting in the grind, and you're not dependent on what somebody else is doing. You keep doing you. And it's like people come into your lives for different reasons. You know, coaches come into your business at different times and help you for different like circumstances, whatever. Some stay, some go, and you keep going.
Yes,
Exactly.
I was going to say right quick, because I know I made a post about the free week I'm doing. It starts Monday. I'm doing clean week, and it's the first clean week group that I'm doing. And I invited like a whole, like my entire warm market, because I never done that. I always went to Instagram because I didn't want people to know me, which is weird. You would think you would want to invite your friends because when I talk to them in person, I'm excited to talk about it. But for some reason, it's like a mental wall with me with social media versus in person with my friends. And I'm not really sure why that is, but it is. But I invited, I don't know, a whole bunch, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 6 that have like went through the process of purchasing Clean Week, but I'm trying not to have that. Like I invited 20 and I'm like, oh, I only got 6, but I'm still excited. Like I'm trying to keep it that way because it's 6 people, you know, that I never talked to or asked.
I think that's awesome.
Really good.
That's a lot.
Like,
even if it's 1 or
they
2
say,
people.
like, typically, like you'll invite 10 and 1 says yes. Your ratio is higher.
Okay.
So, like I documented like 1 month, like how many people I had calls with when I was doing calls. It was like 56 calls. I did not have 56 people join. Like, so what you're doing is awesome. You need to look at the positives and not be like, ugh. Like that's 6 people. If they enroll full out, that's a nice commission. That's helping a lot of people. And so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and then one of them, I asked her, and the one that texted me that morning during my workout, she's like, hey, I got on the scale. I tipped over a certain amount. I'm not very happy with it. What is up? What do you do? I said, well, actually, I'm starting a free group, blah, blah, blah. And then now she's interested. She ended up signing the $30 with Clean Week. And I didn't initially do it that way, but I was like, well, I do the meal replacement as well, but you can make it a meal. You can make it a full out meal with adding different stuff into it and stuff. And I broke down the price for her automatically because I didn't want any objections on pricing. So I was like, look, this is Shakeology. This is the breakdown of how much it is a day. Like, I don't know if you eat out, like if you go to Starbucks and eat a sandwich, like that's over Shakeology. So obviously you're going to save money anyway. So I broke all that down for her and she's like, oh, that sounds great. You know, and I went through it. I said, look, when you get this, please do not do it with just water, which is what I did. Please. I said, there's hundreds of recipes on Pinterest. I was like, just find one and do it. So she's getting the sample pack with the Clean Week. So I'm really excited about that. You're muted, Marissa. Ooh.
First of all, that's freaking awesome. 6 people, I wish I could get 6 people into a Clean Week group. I can't do that. Like I can barely get people into my free group or my Clean Week group. So that's amazing. And just make sure that they really know how to make Shakeology taste good, like put Shakeology recipes in the group. And I'm also I have a Clean Week template, like what you can post, like examples, and I'm going to post that on the team page and I'm going to tag you. It's like a document. So it literally has like your content. If you want to use it, you can use it exactly how it is. I don't care. It's content for every day, like what to post. You can just copy and paste it if you want to, like you can, whatever you want. So I'll tag you in that. If you want to use it, you can.
Okay.
And the other thing I was going to say is, can we do a boomerang real quick?
Yes.
George is the only one that only has a picture, but maybe she'll let us see her. She must be half asleep. Maybe not. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, it's good. All right, anything else?
So I know I haven't been on for a little while, but I wanted to pop in and say hi. I've been trying to keep up with everything, but I'm also going through a little bit of rebranding at the moment because I am a new Army mom, which is exciting and scary all at the same time. So I've been trying to adjust to that, which is I've done great with it. I'm doing the ultimate reset. I have 2 days left, today and tomorrow. I'm doing great with it, but I picked the wrong time to start it because I have been so worked up and stressed about my son being gone, and I just got my first letter from him yesterday. So I'm kind of going through rebranding of myself and trying to figure all of that out to start reposting. I have been active every day on my stories. I have not posted very much, just partially because of that and kind of regrouping and getting everything together. But I have been, trying to kind of stay involved in the team page and watching everybody that's now doing the morning meltdown. And I am so excited to start that on Monday. But yeah, Stephanie, you are doing amazing to get 6 people. I think I did a clean week with Marissa a year ago, just a year and a half ago. And I had 2 people, and I asked probably about 20, and I had 2. So getting 6 is absolutely amazing. And like Marissa said, it's not just only 6. Be proud that you have 6 people. That's awesome. So congratulations.
I just posted the template in the page, in the team page for you. Anyone can use that too. It's just like, it literally has like how to, like what to post, what to say after they say they want in. It's like, it's got scripts, like what to post, the conversation, and then the content to actually post in the Clean Week group. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can, use that. You can use it all. You can take what you like from it and throw the rest away. It's just something that I created like years ago for new coaches that didn't know how to run a group. So,
Okay.
All right. Thank you all for sharing. I can't wait to see your results, Serena, I'm so proud of you. You kicked ass. I've been
8 pounds.
That's
8 pounds as of yesterday.
Your face looks like it's totally like leaned out. Like even in the pictures, I was like, wow, she's leaning out. You broke your plateau. I can't wait to see like the actual like before and afters. So congratulations. Thanks
Thank
everyone
you.
for being on, and thank you all for sharing, and let's keep changing lives. Have a great week. See you guys.
Yeah.
Bye guys.